think we've only got the set for another 30 minutes, though. Those guys are going to be home in a second. They won't know. We got to get all this shit cleaned up, though. How's it going, eh? Welcome to 42069. You're probably expecting a channel about sex and drugs. I bet you're expecting a channel about hot chicken, short shorts, smoking a big bong. What you weren't expecting was a 47-year-old guy talking about his life. Don't fret. Don't fret. It gets better. I got a lot of stories, and they're all about 42069, but we'll get back to that. My name's David. I'm a father of two. I'm happily married to my wife, Helena, and we live in beautiful British Columbia, Canada, Okanagan. Isn't that lovely? We actually do live here. I was just kidding. I was trying to get your attention there a little bit. But anyway, we got two baby chitlins. We got a boy and a girl. Boy's 3, Cannon, named after the Kananaskis Park in Canada, Alberta. And our daughter Anakita, who was named kind of a mishmash from my wife's Eastern European ancestry. We'll talk more about Sandal later. Anyway, it is 42069, and I tell you why. It's my birthday. Yep, 47. Today is July 3rd, 2016. And my aim is to make a video on YouTube once a week. I don't know, maybe just my kids will watch it one day and say, God, Dad, you are so bald. But yeah, just once a week, do a one-take video. Little editing as possible. Maybe some guitar once in a while, I'm not sure. But it's going to be fun. But we should talk about safety first, okay? Currently, our place, where we live, is 0 days without incident of pushing, biting, teasing, pinching, injury of some sort. And that's just me. Okay, so where's it going with this? Safety, yeah, so we're 0 days. So as the weeks progress, I'm hoping that we can achieve at least a 1 or a 2, you know, over the next 10 years till my kids grow up. And me. And my wife. She's not listening, so don't worry about that right now. But, so yeah, the reason I'm doing this is because my wife said, you spend way too much time watching fly fishing videos and Netflix. So she said you should just do a blog because you're not doing anything else anyway. You know, productive. So I said, okay, fine, I'll do it. I set up a little studio on my deck, and we're just going to see how this goes. No, it's not paused. I was just trying to think of something to say. We were watching this Netflix last night after the kids went to bed, and we were watching the show about Huckleberry Finn and Tom Sawyer, but it's like a remake, you know. And it's called The Band of Robbers, if you've seen it. It's not bad. I give it a solid 3.5, 3.8. And at the end of the movie, spoiler alert, Huck Finn is walking down the road, and he's walking, and it's like, holy shit, that's a lot of walking. And then I started thinking, you know, has anybody tried to walk across Canada since Terry Fox was, you know, making his run for cancer? Like, somebody should. I know Rick Hansen came around, and like, he went right around the world for crying out loud in a wheelchair. I got another funny story about him later, but it's my wife's story, actually. She might get to tell it, I don't know. This is my show. So anyway, walking. Has anybody walked across Canada? So we Google it, and there's this guy, Kyle. He was living in, like, Souk, and anybody knows Vancouver Island, and then Souk, like, so he came up with this idea, probably living in a tree like my buddy Chris, and came up with this idea to walk across Canada. So, good story, actually. So we start looking it up, and he left in January from the West Coast, probably a mild winter, 2005. I was like, holy crap, that's quite a while ago. So we looked it up, went to the website, and the page that we landed on was like photos and the route and blah, 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 Trans-Canada Trail, and really, really good. And so I was like, well, let's see updates from the journey. And so click on it, and it says, oh, this plugin is not supported. And I was like, oh, man, did they like get lost in the wilderness somewhere and just like forgot they were doing this, and then, you know, maybe changed their names, or, you know, got jobs up in Nuvik. I don't know what happened to these guys, right? So there was a contact button. I was like, I'm gonna write this guy an email and say, hey man, are you okay? Like, what happened? Okay, then I saw the home tab, so I hit it. It said trip complete. Okay, so it was him and a guy, Bobby. Bobby joined him later, and there was a medical problem with his foot. Anyway, 17 months later, they arrived in Newfoundland somewhere. 7,300, I don't know, 56 kilometers they walked across this country. North America, right? Canada, but like the big part of North America. And 17 months, and they didn't even walk for like, I don't know, prostate cancer, Canada's homeless, I don't know. They didn't even walk for two guys that could for 17 months across Canada. Fuck, I would have sent them a Timmy's card and a bag of Candy Kush. But anyway, so they made it. Congratulations. They're set in Canadian history, but it was a pretty funny story to like look up and figure out, like, these guys didn't really, I mean, I remember kind of hearing about it, and that's probably what made me think about it. But anyway, onward and upward. So yeah, Netflix, and that was our movie last night. I actually made some notes. There's like my big bounce card right here. It's like a pretty kooky studio. It has like notes on it, but I only got to the introduction part. So I'm just gonna hang on a second here. I'll put my jingle in here, my musical interlude, while I confer with my notes, as you were. Oh yeah, so that's where I was. The story about walking across Canada, Canadian history. It's July 3rd, so Canada Day was 2 days ago. We always have this wonderful celebration up in the park, just up the hill from us. And yeah, there's music and hot dogs and barbecue and hamburgers, ice cream, free ice cream from the fire department. And yeah, so we go up there all the time. We love Canada, so we always go to celebrate our 149th Day of Freedom from the Great Britain, like from our like ruling our sovereign state. We'll just call it a birthday. It's much easier. So 149 next year, 150, which is pretty cool. I've done a lot of traveling through Canada. I've been to over 40 countries in the world. That's why I'm 47 with two small children. Not four, but like, you know, Nixon, two, peace. And yeah, and I've never been more blessed with anything else in my life as these two children. I'm going to kind of wrap it up here, but one of the things I was always going to try and do on my weekly blog is include a Davidism at the end, because I'm actually getting quite a few now. And on this whole vein of childhood and, you know, making a blog, and it's not always about kids, it's not like a daddy blog, because we're going to have some definitely X-rated moments here. Well, not X-rated, like, now I'm talking to Google. I mean, visually, but I'm tell stories of things that have happened that might be construed with, you know, some rhetoric. I don't know. Anyway, there'll be a caveat ahead of time, so your children don't have to watch this unless they're approved for that kind of viewing. Anyway, so I'm going to send off with a Davidism. And the one I like to share first is, ever since I became a father, I've learned to do two things really well. That's eat cold food and do things one-handed. So anyway, I'm David. This is 42069. Well, no, today is July 3rd, but that's my channel. And come back next week, and I'll maybe have some photos, maybe a guitar, I don't know. All right. Well, see you next Sunday.